MMA fighter, then started boxing at age 26 with no amateur bouts prior to that.
Back to your corners. Good luck to you both.
Scott Erickson is the referee, and they are scheduled for 4.
You mentioned it, Joe. Could be the deciding factor, or one of them right here. Quinn, almost 3 years, exactly 2 years and 11 months since he was last in the ring. A lot of rust there. If I'm in the corner, Glenn, and you're an MM fighter, as you just said, I mean, that's the background of Glenn. You're used to being aggressive. You're used to be using your strength. Well, go use it early and see if you can catch Quinn with some of that rust showing early on. Glenn was last in the ring only 5 months ago.
Both southpaws who fired off left hands are ready.
Quinn is 6 years younger than Glenn. Smaller man, Quinn. His one fight, we talked about it, he was around welterweight limit, 149. Then he took off almost 3 years. And while Glenn's 2 fights have been at junior middleweight and middleweight, 153 and 158. And tonight, Glenn, 158.8 pounds. He's 4.8 pounds heavier, Glenn is, than Quinn. So Glenn, the bigger guy and the stronger guy, and he's showing it a little bit right now. He's doing what I said he should do, jumping on a guy who hasn't been in the ring for an awful long time.
And that all started with a left hand, that last offensive surge by Ken Glenn. And now Quinn has a moment with a 3-punch combination.
Quinn's nose bleeding already. Welcome back. Not a very nice welcome back to the ring. I'm going to figure that not only is Glenn stronger, and he's been in the ring more recently, and he's bigger than Quinn, but I'm going to say he's tough enough to keep doing what he has to do. He's an Army veteran. Did a tour in Iraq and a tour in Afghanistan. 4 years in the reserves, still in the reserves actually, and 5 years active duty in the United States Army. And I'll also say thank you, Mr. Glenn, for what you do.
The left hand that was able to split the guard there.
Yeah, the power punch for the southpaw right here, Glenn, is his backhand, the left hand that he can turn into a little bit.
Right.
And he's got a very inviting,
All the way back.
very cooperative target in Quinn. Right in front of him, no head movement. When Quinn's trying to block everything, the problem is he is.
Oh, there's a left hand that got through, and a right hand as more blood comes from the nose of Gavin Quinn.
But he's blocking a lot with his face, a lot with his head, not enough with the gloves.
Francis Bartholomew against Fassi Sakilin is coming up in the main event. Bernardo Asuno is with the Thai fighter.
Time.
You know, this will be the 3rd time that Sakilin is fighting in 2013, and both times they ended in the 2nd round. Let's take a look at the fighter facts brought to you by the United States Marine Corps. This young man has 20 pro Muay Thai fights. He started kickboxing at age 10 to help out his family financially, and he had no amateur boxing experience. He's fought only once outside of Thailand, and that was in December 2011. He lost to Martin Honorio, who fought for the super featherweight title in his next fight. That was in the Philippines. Now he takes on Francis Bartholomew in a world title eliminator. He arrived in the U.S. on Monday. Fasai is using his nickname. It means sunshine. His given name at birth is Sidashat Makorde. But he understands very well what's at stake tonight. He knows that a good performance opens the doors to the U.S. market and a title shot.
By the way, you'd see the 2 R's in his last name. The pronunciation that he has told us is Sakilin. So disregard the R's, throw in an L, and you're all set, Teddy.
Yeah, that's all.
We've had some doozies through the years, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
That's what happens with the global scene of Friday night fights. We got a Cuban and a Thai fighter meeting up here in Minneapolis.
And right now we have a stronger, more aggressive, bigger Glenn, who again, I figured he might want to jump on him. He did jump on Quinn. He's got a lot of rust showing. And he's paying a price for that, Russ. The price of punches being delivered by Glenn.
CompuBox showed you the big edge that Glenn had in round number 1 as it continues here in the early goings of round 2.
A lot of choices for Glenn. I mean, you can go right down the middle, which has been a good choice with a straight left hand for the southpaw. Split the guard of Quinn. He lets you split the guard. He doesn't move his head. Or you can go to the body. He covers up. He goes into that peekaboo Quinn does. Gives you a chance to bang the drum a little bit. You know, put some water in the basement downstairs. I hear them yelling, get busy, Gavin. I'd be adding something to that advice. Move your head, Gavin.
The left lead from Quinn and more coming back from Glenn.
The only question here in this fight to turn what has been a dominant fight so far for Glenn would be the conditioning of Glenn. Can he keep it up? Does he tire a little bit? He did come in the heaviest of his short career, Joe. So my cleaners have those solvents ready. Some blood flying our way here, all over our nice shirts.
Let me pass the disinfecting wipes your way, Teddy.
Yeah,
our weekly duty.
Yeah, thank you. I'll take 2 of those.
That didn't land flush from Quinn. Got the crowd's reaction with the 2-punch combination, but off target looking for that head of Ken Glenn.
Mouth wide open of Quinn, as though he didn't have enough problems with punches crashing in on him.
And blood streaming from his nose as we come to the end of round number 2, scheduled for 4, working our way to our main event.
Time.
Teddy, let's look at the foolproof punch of the night, brought to you by Just for Men. Caleb Truax, 6th round against Don George.
Oh, it was a punch that said good night for George. Right hand, and George was eating right hands all night, but this one behind the ear. And when you get hit by the ear or behind it, well, you usually go down and don't get up. And if you get up, it's not steady. Your equilibrium goes south.
So 22 wins now for Minnesota's Caleb Truax, the middleweight, whose one loss is to Jermaine Taylor, a fight in which he put Taylor down in the 9th round, but lost the decision. George now the 4th loss of his career. This is round 3. Gavin Quinn, who took damage early against Ken Glenn, who was 5 years of active duty as a staff sergeant in the Army, served with Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom.
No matter what he does in the ring, he's doing a good job tonight. It will be small compared to the enormity of what he's done for us, for our country, for all our people, my kids, your kids, by defending our freedoms. The only thing that I would add to Glenn, who's had his way so far, is go to the body a little bit. You know, you have a guy in front of you who's eating everything up top, and he's taking it fairly well. Go downstairs to the body. Find out if he takes it there fairly well.
He's been so available upstairs, and even the jab just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's like having a box of chocolates there, and you tell your little kid, don't eat no more chocolate. You know, try the wafers. Well, no, I don't want to try the wafers. There's chocolate there.
I got one that sticks the finger up the bottom to see what flavor it is.
Yeah, well,
and then you go and you pick it up and you like, who got to this one?
My daughter Nicole.
That's funny because it happens to be
Nicole,
my daughter
the lawyer
too.
in my family, who I love very much. And she's, but yeah, she used to do that right in the corners, you know.
But then you go to eat the chocolate and somebody's already mangled it, and they put it back because the top still looks good, but the bottom's got the...
Yeah, a little piece missing. But at least you know what it is. They're doing you a favor, you know. It's coconut or it's caramel.
More blood from the nose of Quinn. And that hasn't slowed down at all. Glenn's been constantly peppering him.
I'd stop the fight. I mean, I really would. I know I'm in this game my whole life, but I'd stop it. I mean, Quinn's just taking punishment. He's bleeding. He's a game guy, but he's not doing anything that makes you believe he has a chance to win.
Time.
Fourth and final round between Gavin Quinn and Ken Glenn. Glenn's been dominating so far. We had a dominant effort in our opening bout as well when Caleb Truax knocked out Don George, and he jumped on him right from the start. Bernardo Osuna was able to catch up with Don George and adds more. Bernardo?
No, just speaking with Don George, he will not be going to the hospital, luckily, but he was just devastated. He said he wanted to apologize to the fans. It came down to him basically not eating a solid meal since last Saturday, spending the last few days in the sauna trying to make weight, and Teddy called it. It was the fact that he looked good, but how much did he have to drain himself to make it? He said he had to move back to 168 where he could recover his chin.
Great reporting from the locker room, Bernardo. Teddy, you said in our Look Like a Champ setup to the fight, you discussed the point of the weight loss of George and coming down from 168.
Yeah, I did. I said that it was his lowest weight in 8 years and 8 months. A lot of times people look at that and say, wow, that's great. Maybe it's not so great. Maybe the way he had to get to that weight might have wound up hurting him, and maybe that's a possibility. Of course, in all fairness, let me say that we shouldn't take anything away from Truax and his performance. He did what he had to do. He landed punches, and George was there. You know, his defense was always poor and suspect, George's that is, and Truax took advantage of that and landed right hand. So take nothing away from him. He did what he had to do, and we're just taking the word of George. We don't know for a fact any of the things that were just said, but we know that George did tell us that, and we're taking it for what it's worth.
Right uppercut was glancing from Glenn. CompuBox has the total punches that show exactly what this fight's been all about. Glenn landing 122 of 305, and Quinn only 36 connects.
You know, I don't let it keep like this. Look, a lot of people at home, maybe they're gonna, when I say this, they're gonna say I'm harsh. I'm in a harsh business, all right? I've been in this business my whole life, so if I'm harsh, rightfully so. It's a difficult business. It can be a dangerous business. It's a damaging business sometimes. And if Quinn can't get better than what we're seeing here tonight, to get away from some punches, to do more than just to walk in and take shots and show heart. If he can't get better, if they can't improve him shortly in that way, I don't think he should stay in the business. I don't think it's worth it.
Well, he's been in and out of the business. He fought in 2010. Said he was in and out of the gym. That's why he didn't fight until tonight. And he has a full-time job working with his father, who installs fence. So he's installing fences, trying to get to the gym, and this is the result you get.
Time. Good job, guys.
Right on, brother.
As Ken Glenn already celebrating. The Army Sergeant looking for win number 3 when we return. We'll hear from the judges. Joe and Teddy with you at the Minneapolis Convention Center. One-sided bout. 40-35, says Teddy for Ken Glenn. Of course, you can join in at home. You see it the same way. Go to Facebook, the Friday Night Fight page. Click on live scoring. Our main event's coming up. Should be a good one. 12-rounder, so join in the live scoring there. For now, let's send it to the ring to Dan Cole.
Fans, our judges have reached a unanimous decision, and the scores are as follows. Judge Tim Taggart Sr. scored the bout 40-36. Judge Denny Nelson also saw the fight 40-36. And Judge John Mariano also scored the bout 40-36. For the winner and still undefeated, Ken Glenn.
So Ken Glenn is now 3-0, and Gavin Quinn, those couple years off, his mark drops to 1-1.